Welcome back to Tech by Pike. Today we are going to be unboxing a Razer Blade 15-inch gaming laptop. It is the base model. Comes with an i7-10750H, an RTX 3070, 165Hz QHD panel, and 16 gigs of RAM with 512 SSD. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't going to review this laptop, but because of the panel and some other aspects around this laptop, I changed my mind. We're also going to be including something else that is unrelated to Razer Blade, but enhances the Razer Blade laptop experience. So anyway, let's get into this. The reason I wasn't going to review this laptop is that Razer Blade hasn't made many changes to their Razer Blade gaming lineup, 15 or 17 inch. They're still using the CNC unibody aluminum chassis. This one comes in the anodized black finish, and it still has this green logo here, the snakes that light up. It's still a fingerprint magnet. It's the worst, I think, on the market as far as getting dirty. That's why they include the cloth inside the box when you buy this laptop, because they know that it collects fingerprints fairly quickly. So something that I do for my laptop to avoid fingerprint smudges and other dirt like film on my laptop, because I also, like I said, have a Razer Blade from last year, is I put a skin on mine from Dbrand. I put it on the top here, on the bottom, and actually on the keyboard deck. Here is the Dbrand website, and I'll leave a link to this down in the description of this video once I post it to YouTube. But I came out here after I bought my laptop because I knew that it was a fingerprint magnet, and I went to, mine is the 2020 advanced version with no Ethernet, and you can buy the top, trackpad, palm rest, and bottom. I bought all four, but you don't have to. Not a lot of people see the inside of the, on the keyboard deck. It's typically the top layer, the top part of the lid here that they see. But I went for all four. It cost me about $75 with tax. And they have all kinds of different colors, different material, different textures. It just depends on your own personal aesthetic, what you want your laptop to look like, but I highly recommend it. If you get a Razer laptop, it'll cut down on those fingerprints and kind of greasy marks on your laptop. Anyway, just some information about what you can do to protect your laptop, your Razer laptop, from fingerprints and smudges. We're not sponsored by Dbrand in any way. We're not sponsored by any of the manufacturers or third-party vendors that we get these products from. So anyway, let's get back to the review of the laptop. So let's take a look at the I/O. On the left-hand side, you have the power port there, Ethernet cable jack, USB-A, USB-C, and a microphone or headphone jack. On the right-hand side, we've got USB-C with Thunderbolt, 2 USB-As, an HDMI, and the Kensington lock. Pretty standard. No SD card reader, which is unfortunate. The lid is able to come up with one finger if that's important to you. So one thing I like about the Razer laptops, they always have this nice big mouse pad here, and it's nice to work with. No flex in the palm rest or around the speakers here. No flex underneath the screen either. Very rigid. Keyboard, I don't know if you can hear that or not. I've always liked typing on the Razer keyboard. Not very shallow. Okay, lots of thin bezels here. You got the 720p camera. Okay, now that we've talked a lot about the chassis, let's talk a little bit about the internals of the laptop. But first, to get this bottom piece away from the laptop, it's held in by these T5 Torx screws, and they're actually fairly fragile, so be very careful when unscrewing those because they could strip very, very easily. Trust me, I've done it, and it's a real pain, so be slow, be patient. All right, so let's lift this up. Very little flex. This thing is sturdy. Here's the bottom. You got the air vents here. Actually, yeah, air vents. You got some sinks, so that's great. Let's go ahead and pull that away. So, well, you got 3 pipes. That's interesting. You have some processor and the graphics card. You got the 2 fans. This is great. You have a
512 SSD. Too bad it's not 1 terabyte, but you do have another spot to upgrade or add an additional SSD. We have the 2 memory chips here, the slots here. You can upgrade it up to 64 gigs, which is fantastic. And you have the Wi-Fi 6, which you can actually swap out if you want. So the battery is 65 watts, very small. That's curious. So there you go. There's the internals. Looks pretty standard for a Razer Blade base model. I know the Advanced has a vapor chamber because I have an Advanced, and I'm not exactly sure what the 17-inch has, but maybe later on this year we'll go ahead and bring one in and review that. Check it out.
Okay, we're going to turn on this laptop and we're going to do some benchmarking, but first we're going to check out Razer Blade Synapse. That manages the performance of the laptop based on what you're actually doing with it. We'll check out the chroma and speakers and the camera, and then we'll put this thing on some benchmarking with some games and whatnot and see how it fares. Okay, let's go. Alright, here is the Razer Blade Synapse software. You can go into this and you can go to System here and Performance, and you can dial it up for gaming or increase processing power for creator work, pictures or video editing. If you go to gaming here, you can adjust the fans on manual, and then this particular laptop has a muck switch, and so you can switch from NVIDIA Optimus to the dedicated GPU. Not only that, is if you do, you have to restart your laptop. Once you do, though, you can choose 60 Hertz or the 165 Hertz option for this particular panel. You can also go over to the System tab here and you can disable Windows keys, the Alt tab or the Alt F4. You can have some primary key functions set up. In the Razer Blade Synapse, you also can control the lighting on the keyboard and the lighting on any Razer Blade peripheral that you might have connected to this laptop. This is not per key or zone. It is the whole laptop. Here I have a Razer Blade mouse attached, but it's the whole keyboard, and you can switch colors and do all kinds of different pulsing or reactive or a ripple effect on the lighting on the keyboard. The advanced model does have a per key and zone option, so I'm a little disappointed that the base model does not. So it is an i7-10750H processor. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on benchmarking here, but the CPU multi-core score was 6165 and single core was 1139. Not too far off from last year's model. So we used 3D Mark Time Spy to do a little benchmarking here. Let's check it out. The 3D Mark Time Spy scores were a little underwhelming. The graphics score was 9,130 and the CPU score was 6,263, with an overall score of 8,543. Compared to results online, the average score is 9,794, where this laptop actually scored below that, and then the best was 11,201. So we did some benchmarking using the tool within Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We had the settings on Ultra. Let's take a look. Cyberpunk 2070 on Ultra settings. Up by the keyboard underneath the screen, it gets up to about 107 to 111 Fahrenheit. And then on the sides here,
by the speakers, it gets to be around 93 Fahrenheit, and then down by the palm rest and the mouse pad, it gets around 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We're playing Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra settings. The fans are on auto, but it is switched over to the muck switch, and the settings are on high. And right now we're getting around 60 to 65 decibels average on the fans. We used the benchmarking tool within Red Dead Redemption. The settings on the game were on Ultra, and we got some pretty decent scores. So the Razer Blade, 15-inch gaming laptop with the RTX 3070, the i7-10750H, and the QHD 165Hz screen is a really good laptop. We got this one for about $21.99 over at Best Buy. The cost pound for performance, I really don't think it's worth the money. And now Razer Blade has posted their new Razer Blade 15-inch laptops with the Intel Core i7-11800H for pre-order. Now is not really the time to go out and buy one of the i7-10750H versions of this laptop. I would hold off, and if you're in the market, maybe pre-order one of these. Or go with something else with the same specs for about $1,600 to $1,800. Save a few $100 with your next purchase. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more tech videos from Tech by Pike, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. It helps the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.